Let's talk about how black people can be threats to other black people. Hi, my name is Dr. Natalie Jones. I've worked with perpetrators of abuse and violence as well as victims of abuse. When I saw this comment, I kind of had to shake my head, but let's put it out there. Let's have a conversation about it. This person says that other black people are threats or can be considered threats to black people in general. And you know what? It's just like a jaw-dropping moment, a mic drop moment. But let's talk about how black people can be a threat to their own community. I think, first and foremost, I think something that we see a lot here on social media is where, black people can sort of get on social media and sort of tear each other down with, like all black women are this or all black men are this. While I talk about abuse and violence in our community, I never try to generalize or apply broad strokes to everybody. But I certainly think that does happen quite a bit where there is that on social media, but not just to social media, because you don't really see, at least I don't really see other cultures doing this too much. But people will also make these generalizations and comments to other cultures, so much so that other cultures may feel like they're equipped and they're able to be disrespectful to the black community. So essentially, there's not as much unity as there needs to be within the community. And the unity starts with, I think, having a difficult conversation about a lot of things. I've seen black people be threatening to other black people in the workplace. When you have not a lot of black people in one place of business, and you have that crabs in a bucket mentality where people are trying to climb the ladder, trying to be successful. If there is one that successfully navigates to the top, then there's only room for one. And they make that very clear that I do not want you as my competition, and whatever I have to do to throw you under the bus or cut you out so that you don't succeed me, that's what I'm going to have to do. So that would be a circumstance like that. And people talk about advice, having a black supervisor that sort of runs off of emotions, but also can, have this mentality of, I'm going to make an example out of you. I'm going to show other people what I can do. So essentially, people within your own community can feel like they want to punch down on others, and make that example just so that can help them successfully climb up the ladder of success. I think sometimes within the black community too, if I'm being honest, I think sometimes we can also be our own worst critics amongst our people. As much as there are people that can uplift within our own community, we can also tear down much more in our own community as well. I think this happens quite a bit with women, which we've talked about on my either on my podcast or on my TikTok, maybe a combination of both. But I think especially when you see women who are going through an abusive relationship or who are being abused, the community seems to disappear and say, that's not my business, or even worse, why is she doing that? Why did she stay? Well, she must have liked it if she stayed in that abusive relationship. So I think we've seen examples of that. Now we've adopted the term pygmesia, which I myself have used to demonstrate certain, things that I want to speak about. But I think we use it in a way that we're kind of quick to call people that, women that, where we don't have any sympathy for them anymore. I think The other thing that has come out that I've recently spoken about as well is the 50-50 concept in dating and marriage. I think there is also this thing within our community which we have readily adopted, and I'm not sure why, where there are less of us getting married in general, and there is sort of this like, it's easier or it's better to have a child first than it is to get married. There's that from a social aspect, but there's also the conversation of 50-50. I'm going to pay my way, she's going to pay my way, and there's a lot of that, and I think that is, unfortunately, that tears the community apart because it doesn't allow for true courtship. I think probably the biggest threat that I've seen to our community in terms of Black people displaying harm is what we see on the broader media. So beyond social media, we have music videos, we have movies and things of that nature where it's interesting that you see people getting disrespected. I mean, women are being called bitches. People are not fully clothed. There is this culture where, there's drugs, money, and sex, and that's considered to be cool. So I definitely think there is this push in our media, things that we view every day, whether it be a magazine ad, whether it be television ads, Tyler Perry movies, all of that, there is this thing with struggle love or no love at all. There's just sort of this hard, fast life culture, which seems to be normalized and celebrated. Being hood rich is also being celebrated. So all of those things that kind of go together, the drugs, the sex, the disrespect of women or only using women for sex, but getting money, getting cars, staying hood rich, being a gangster, selling dope, all of those things which are cool, considered to be cool now, and it's like it's pushed, and I'm not sure I don't think that our community is headed in a good direction due to those kinds of things. But I definitely think, I definitely wish there was a lot more cohesiveness within the Black community, and I wish, there was a lot more productive conversations around stuff like this. But this is a good little mic drop, and it definitely has me thinking on my feet, and I'm sure, other things will come to mind later, but it's late, and I definitely saw this comment, and I was like, ooh, okay, I see what you're doing there, and I wanted to respond. Thanks for putting this. It's definitely provocative and gets you thinking.